Hello everybody, and welcome back. Good to talk to all of you again today, and today I'm going to cover a bit of an interesting topic. The other day I saw a post on Reddit about closed beta AA, the one that you're seeing in the background right now, and people saying, well, it used to look so much better than it does right now. And I thought, I have clients from back in the day. Why not go in and take a look at some gameplay and see if it's true? First up, this is version 0.3.13, and this is New York's AA. As you can tell, at close range with things right on top of this New York, yeah, its 20 millimeters are quite intense. There's quite a bit of fire coming up, and looks pretty good. This is the New York today, and when things get really close, you still see quite a bit, However, for some reason, if you look at it really closely, there's still a lot of the shells and bullets flying off the ship, but it's just maybe not as noticeable as it was before. But still with the New York, it seemed pretty close in terms of the amount of fire that was coming out. The most notable difference for me was actually when I was comparing the Colorados. So this is Colorado CBT. And pay attention to the AA and you'll notice that first of all, it's quite visible because it's this white color, good contrast. And it seems, at least to me, that especially when it comes into 20 millimeter range, that the 20 millimeter is quite of a constant sort of stream of shells, right? Versus the 40 where you see sort of like burst, 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 burst. With the 20s, it feels a lot like a constant stream. Well, take a look at Colorado 0.7.2. And this is where I thought that there was a bit of difference. You'll sort of see right around there that when the planes come into close range, even the 20s feel like they're coming out in bursts. Maybe long bursts, but still bursts, and there's sort of gaps in there. Maybe this is just a visual illusion. Maybe you guys will see something different than me, but I thought these two were kind of different. The last one I looked at was 0.3.13 with the Cleveland and an Iowa. And once again, when sailing these two ships together, when they're attacked, you can see quite a bit of AA coming off of the ships, right? Quite a lot of shells. And a lot of it's being done by the 20 millimeters again. Jumping over to 0.7.2, which is the current patch version. Again, Cleveland, and, well, this time I used the Missouri. They're pretty comparable AA-wise. And it doesn't actually look that different. Right, first was the 40s, and there's the 20s coming up. And there's the Iowa's 20s coming into action here, along with the Cleveland's 20s. And all in all, these two scenes were actually kind of comparable. If you looked at the Iowa-Cleveland combination here, along with the Iowa-Cleveland combination before, pretty similar. The difference is, at best, I think, minimal. However, what's causing this sort of difference in feeling? And I think there's a couple of reasons. One of them is, I think anti-aircraft audio has been tweaked. It's harder to tell the difference between the 40s and the more rapid-fire 20s. If you go back to the CBT clips in the video, you will hear that the 20s became, sort of very distinct sounds compared to the current versions, where the 20s they kind of blend in with the 40s. So I think that's maybe one, where as players, the audio cue isn't as big as it used to be, so now it's harder to tell, right? Second, I think that there have been some sort of graphic changes that have occurred. The color of the tracers is a little bit different. The color of the sky at times is different, and along with the tracer color differences, maybe there's a bit more blending that's happening in, right? If you have a sunset and you have orange tracers, you're not really going to see that difference. Maybe there's also been a change to the number of shells that go out in any one grouping. So maybe in the past there was a little bit more, now there's a bit less. Still, the difference is not huge. Where I think the huge difference comes in, or why people go, wow, where's that sort of crazy A that you saw at the very beginning, the very first clip, is I think the gameplay difference is causing that, right? Back in CBT, if you were a battleship, the cruiser was your best friend, right? You started the game, looked for your cruiser, ran to your cruiser for AA protection. Because CVs and CBT were absolutely terrifying. You played a lone BB, you died. Painful, painful, painful deaths. But today, in the game that we play today, a power creep has happened quite a lot. A lot of ships can just kind of wander off by themselves, and they'd be okay. Not only that, but a lot of ships, for example, ships like the Gneisenau, for example, are a lot more dependent on their large caliber, long range AA, where there's not that rate of fire, and now that they're able to take out whole squadrons by themselves, they don't really need that sort of close-in protection that was offered by cruisers before. This causes the ships to not group up as much, and the less grouping up, the less intense the AA fire. And I think this is the main reason why that massive AA that people felt in CBT, that they thought was so good and so pretty, well, just doesn't really happen as much in the game today. So all in all, are there some differences? I think so, but I think the differences are rather minimal, and the current game today, the AA still looks pretty darn good. Anyways, folks, let me know what you think now that you've seen this video. Do you think CBT AA was tremendously a lot better than it is today? Or do you think it is more that gameplay that I was talking about? Anyways, let me know in the comment section below. So from all that, take care, have yourselves a good one, and I'll talk to all of you again next time.